So Donald Trump is looking to enter the Congo militarily to take control of the mineral deposits in the country. If you guys don't know, the DR is one of the richest places for cobalt and many other things such as lithium to power your cell phone, power your computer, power the Tesla car battery. But the issue in the DR Congo is they are pretty much being controlled by rebel groups such as M23. And Donald Trump recently released a statement to Rwanda and M23 telling Rwanda to back out of the Congo and telling M23 to lay down their weapons. Now, I want to talk about if this happens, what would the DR Congo look like if Donald Trump intervened militarily? How would the future for the locals be? Would it be better? Would it be worse? Would it be good for the United States? Or would it make us look even worse abroad by having that military influence? Would there be atrocities committed? Let's get into it. I'm Austonholleman. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. Now, as I said before, the DRC is what we will call it, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, is rich in mineral deposits for things such as cobalt, lithium, gold. All these minerals are essential for powering the Tesla car battery, your smartphone, and most importantly, military tech, which is a huge reason why the United States may want to take control of this, because if you guys don't know, they almost spend $1 trillion annually on the military, which is why it's the strongest one in the world. But for decades, the DRC has been a nation plagued by war. The Rwandan genocide, when that happened, those people fled over to the DRC and they even murdered more people there. They had what they call Africa's World War, where over 5 million people have died in the Congo Wars, which is known as the African World War, and which has been the biggest, most deadliest war since the actual last World War II. And this conflict has misplaced hundreds of thousands of people in the Congo. And the president even accuses the Western nations of ignoring the suffering while they benefit from the mineral deposits in the Congo, which this is true. This has always been true about African nations, which is that Western nations come over. Oh, these guys got a lot of gas, or they have a lot of minerals, or they have something that we want. Let's just get that, and fuck you. You guys stay living off of $1 a day. So I would agree with him on that. Now, let's talk about who M23 is. M23 stands for March 23rd Movement. This is a Tutsi-led movement that was started in 2012. If you guys don't know, the Tutsi is also a tribe that is in Rwanda that was part of the Rwandan genocide. And this is part of the Europeans drawing borders wherever they feel is necessary, that these groups just get split up in place and they get put together in places that they probably would have never lived together, or they have a certain hierarchy or way that these Europeans introduce life to them. And yeah, it causes genocides and it causes problems like this. And this group reemerged in 2021 and seized northern territory of Kivu in the DRC. Now, there's been accusations from the UN and other nations saying that Rwanda is arming the M23 so that it can basically fight a proxy to take control of the minerals for itself and create a buffer zone in between the two nations. And the attacks are getting worse and worse as we speak, day by day. And now the DRC has, now that he knows that a capitalist is in office in the United States, he's come up with another strategy to try to ask for help. Which brings me to my next point. Why would Donald Trump even care about what's going on in the DRC? After all, he is the America first on energy independence and economic dominance. But you guys also know that he is the biggest competitor for China. And China has a huge stronghold here on the continent of Africa. And what he wants to do is try to cut that influence that China has here. The DRC has 70% of the world's cobalt, and most of that is controlled by Chinese companies as we speak. So now that Donald Trump is back in office, taking control over the mineral dominance in Africa is going to be his biggest strategic move, which is why he's doing the same thing in Somalia, or at least he has interest in doing Somalia. And he started airstrikes already in that area to try to stabilize the region from the rebels there as well. And just like the United States has done in Iraq and other countries in the Middle East, Afghanistan, etc., when they want resources that a country has, they frame it as, hey, we are going to come fight terrorism or bring democracy. When they were fighting communism, we're going to come bring democracy. We're going to fight terrorism. And yes, they will do that. But of course, it's really something more important like the oil. The same way how in Iraq, yes, they were fighting Saddam Hussein, but they wanted the oil. If you ask me, I think a lot of this stuff is by design, and they destabilize these regions just so they can come later on and do this again. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Now, how would the United States be able to do this? Through AFRICOM, the United States already has a major influence on the continent of Africa militarily, and they have military bases throughout Africa. And they also have intelligence partnerships in places like Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya. In the same way how Trump went to Syria in 2015 and handled ISIS, you could see him launch airstrikes for anti-terrorism or humanitarian aid, per se, in the DRC. This could be done using drones, special forces, and PMCs, and we're going to get to that, so make sure you subscribe so you can see the PMC documentary that we're going to do next. And using these strategies of invasion is a plausible way, but it's somewhat effective rather than doing a actual full invasion and having the actual U.S. military bring all of its forces to the DRC, which is how modern wars are being fought now. Even in Ukraine, the Wagner Group, which is a PMC, has fought the Ukrainians on Russia's side. And they do similar things against rebel groups here in Africa, especially in places like Niger. So what I think you'll see is the United States partner with the Congolese government to secure the mineral deposits that are in the country. Now, when would this happen? The UN has already warned that there would be a full siege of the province of Goma by late 2025. And the ones that would be invading is M23. So they are essentially warning against that invasion. Now, if this happens, it's possible that Donald Trump will use this as the right moment to intervene for humanitarian aid and military force. And at the same time, combine this with the rising competition for cobalt. And you have two that go together and make the perfect excuse to go in and act. Disclaimer again, austonholleman is just reporting. I'm using my sources. I'm not on any side. I'm just telling you guys to keep my audience informed on what's going on in Africa. Now, what would the future look like for the Congo if this does happen? Well, the best case scenario is M23 is defeated. Peace returns to the Congo that it has essentially never had, if you ask me, and it will become an economically stable region with resource deals with places like the United States. Now, the worst case scenario is something that usually happens when the United States invades these other countries that have resources. They invade, it turns into a 20-year war or a 10-year war, and the rebels just go back and forth with the U.S. forces, and then the U.S. forces are pretty much further destabilizing the region, and they continue to take stuff. Look at Gaddafi. They went in, NATO went in and took out Gaddafi. It turned into shit right after that. You have rebels controlling place, the human trafficking is there. They invaded Iraq. I mean, Saddam Hussein was a dictator, but he did have, I guess you could say there were some pros. We'll have to do a video about him. They invaded, they fucked up the country, and it's back pretty much where it was, The same thing with Syria. The same thing with Afghanistan. They fought the Taliban for 20 years, trying to secure democracy, I guess, right? They left. The Taliban took over again. That's the worst case scenario that could happen. Pray to God that that doesn't happen if Donald Trump does intervene in the Congo. And the last thing is, if China, which they're already there, if they see the United States taking over their minerals in that region, you could even possibly see a proxy war, maybe amongst PMCs or something like the Cold War proxy war they had. Just like in Nicaragua, the United States funded them to go fight these people, or that type of proxy war. Maybe you might see that again. All in all, as we know, history repeats itself. And if Trump decides to act on this request that the Congolese government has asked him to do, it won't be about peace necessarily. I don't think he gives a damn about the peace in the Congo, but it'll be about profit. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you like that video, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe. And if you would like to assist with the cost of editing and everything else it takes to produce these videos on a daily basis, sometimes twice a day, feel free to tip me at Cash App, austonholleman, PayPal, Zelle, austonholleman@gmail.com, or you can sign up for the Patreon below. I'll see you guys next time.